Welcome back to Wikilert.
The roar of engines fills the air, a symphony of power and precision that only MotoGP can deliver. It's a world where every corner tests the limits of human courage, where riders dance on the edge of disaster, chasing glory at breakneck speeds. But sometimes, that dance falters, and the line between triumph and tragedy blurs in an instant. Today, we're diving into one such moment. A heart-stopping crash that shook the MotoGP world and reminded us all of the stakes these riders face every time they swing a leg over their machines. This is the story of Alex Marquez's dramatic crash at the 2025 Spanish Grand Prix, a moment that left fans breathless, hearts racing, and the paddock buzzing with concern and awe. Settle in, because this is a tale of speed, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a champion. Picture the scene: Jerez, Spain, April 2025. The Circuito de Jerez Angel Nieto is alive with the energy of the Spanish Grand Prix, one of the crown jewels of the MotoGP calendar. The sun beats down on the asphalt, the stands packed with fans waving flags, their cheers echoing through the Andalusian hills. Alex Marquez, the younger brother of the legendary Marc Marquez, is in his element. Riding for the Gresini Ducati team, he's not just a rider. He's a contender, a former Moto3 and Moto2 world champion who's carving his own path in the premier class. Coming into this race, Alex is riding a wave of confidence. He's second in the championship standings, just behind his brother, and he's already shown he can battle with the best. Earlier that day, during Friday's practice sessions, he did something extraordinary. He set a blistering lap time of 1 minute and 35.991 seconds, the first MotoGP lap ever under 1:36 at Jerez. It was a statement, a marker that Alex wasn't just here to compete, he was here to dominate. But the path to greatness is never smooth, and for Alex, the day was about to take a turn that no one saw coming. It's practice 2, the session that determines who advances directly to Q2, the crucial qualifying shootout. Alex is pushing hard, chasing that perfect lap, the kind that makes headlines and silences doubters. He's following his brother Marc into turn 5, a fast right-hander that demands precision and nerve. The Gresini Ducati is singing beneath him, the bike feeling almost too good, as Alex himself would later admit. He's riding with a confidence that borders on fearless, the kind that can propel a rider to greatness or to the edge of catastrophe. And then, in a split second, it happens. The front end of his bike tucks, the tires lose grip, and Alex is launched into a high-speed tumble through the gravel trap. The impact is brutal, the kind that makes you wince just watching it. His bike skids across the runoff, slamming into the air fence, damaging it and triggering a red flag. For a moment, the world holds its breath. Is he okay? The replays show the violence of the crash, his body twisting through the air, the gravel biting into his leathers. It's the kind of moment that reminds us how fragile these riders are, even as they chase superhuman feats. In the Gresini motorhome, Alex is hurting. He's nursing his arm, the one that took the brunt of the impact as he skidded through the stones at 200 km per hour. He later described the pain, how his hands went numb from the abrasions, how his arms felt like they were asleep. It's not just the physical toll. Crashes like this shake a rider's confidence, plant a seed of doubt that can linger long after the bruises fade. But Alex Marquez is no ordinary rider. He's the younger brother of a man who's defied the odds time and again, and he carries that same fire in his veins. After 30 minutes away from the track, watching the session unfold from his motorhome, he makes a decision. I did a stupid mistake, he tells himself, and I need to turn this around. With just 16 minutes left in the session, he climbs back on his bike. The pain is still there, the memory of the crash fresh in his mind, but so is his determination. He hits the track, and what happens next is nothing short of extraordinary. With the clock ticking down, Alex unleashes a lap that defies belief. His time, 1 minute and 35.991 seconds. A new lap record, the first sub-1:36 lap in MotoGP history at Jerez. The paddock erupts, the commentators lose their minds, and fans on social media light up with disbelief. This wasn't just a lap, it was a statement. A rider who'd just endured a high-speed crash, who'd been battered and bruised, had come back to rewrite the record books. But Alex, ever the perfectionist, isn't celebrating. He's frustrated. The crash cost him valuable time to test different tires and setups, leaving him with double the work for the next day. "I was riding with too much confidence," he admits later, his voice tinged with self-criticism. "The bike was too good, and I didn't feel the limit until it was too late." It's a candid moment, one that shows the complexity of a rider's psyche, equal parts courage and calculation, always wrestling with the fine line between pushing too hard and not pushing enough. This wasn't Alex's first brush with disaster, and it wouldn't be his last. Just weeks later, at the French Grand Prix in Le Mans, he'd suffer another crash, this time while running in third place. The conditions were treacherous, the track slick with rain, and Alex became one of several title contenders to fall victim to the unforgiving surface. Posts on X captured the moment, with fans lamenting the loss of what could have been a podium finish. But it's the Jerez crash that stands out, not just for its drama but for what it revealed about Alex Marquez as a rider and a person. He's not just Marc's little brother, a label he's carried for much of his career. He's a fighter, a champion in his own right, who's faced setbacks and come back stronger every time. In 2014, he won the Moto3 World Championship, edging out Jack Miller by just 2 points. In 2019, he claimed the Moto2 title, fending off a late charge from Brad Binder. And in 2025, as the Gresini team leader, he's proving he belongs among the MotoGP elite. Let's rewind for a moment to understand the man behind the helmet. Alex Marquez was born on April 23, 1996, in Cervera, Spain, just 3 years after his brother Marc. Growing up in the shadow of a prodigy wasn't easy, but Alex carved his own path. He started racing in the CEV 125 cubic centimeters championship in 2010, finishing 11th overall at just 14 years old. By 2012, he was the Moto3 CEV champion, earning wildcard rides in the World Championship. His first full season in Moto3 came in 2013, and a year later, he was a world champion. The Marquez brothers made history that year, becoming the first siblings to win world titles in the same season, Marc in MotoGP, Alex in Moto3. They'd repeat the feat in 2019, with Alex taking the Moto2 crown. But MotoGP is a different beast, a place where even the most talented riders can struggle to find their footing. Alex's journey in the Premier class has been one of perseverance, from a challenging rookie season with Repsol Honda in 2020 to finding his groove with Gresini Ducati in 2023 and beyond. Back to Jerez. The crash at Turn 5 wasn't just a physical test, it was a mental one. Alex admitted to feeling the weight of his mistakes, the frustration of losing valuable track time. "I deserve to have this pain," he said, a raw admission that speaks to the self-imposed pressure these riders put on themselves. But it's that same pressure that drives them to do the impossible. When Alex returned to the track and set that record-breaking lap, it wasn't just about speed, it was about redemption. He was proving to himself, to his team, and to the world that he could rise above the setback. The fans felt it too. On X, one user posted about the crash at Turn 1 earlier in the weekend, noting that Alex was okay and already heading back to the garage. That resilience, that refusal to stay down, is what defines him. The Jerez weekend wasn't all about Alex, of course. His brother Marc, the 8-time world champion, was also making headlines. Marc crashed out of the race on Sunday, a rare mistake for the rider who's been nearly untouchable in 2025 when he stays on the bike. The brothers' dynamic is fascinating, competitive yet supportive, each pushing the other to be better. In the post-race press conference, Alex spoke about Marc's killer instinct and how he's learned to balance aggression with strategy. But at Jerez, it was Alex who stole the show, not with a win, but with a display of grit that resonated with fans and pundits alike. Motorsport.com described him as the class of the field despite his crashes, a testament to his raw speed and potential. As the weekend progressed, Alex carried the physical scars of his Turn 5 crash into Saturday and Sunday. "I think tomorrow will be worse," he told MotoGP.com, referring to the pain in his arm and wrist. Yet he raced on, battling not just his rivals but his own body. It's moments like these that make MotoGP so compelling, the human element, the stories of riders pushing through pain and doubt to chase their dreams. Alex's story at Jerez is a microcosm of his career. Setbacks, resilience, and moments of brilliance that remind us why he's a champion. He didn't win the Spanish Grand Prix, but he won something else: respect, admiration, and a place in the conversation about MotoGP's brightest stars. Let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment. MotoGP is a sport of razor-thin margins. A fraction of a second can mean the difference between pole position and missing Q2. A momentary lapse in concentration can send a rider into the gravel, as Alex learned the hard way. But it's also a sport of second chances, where a rider can fall, get back up, and rewrite the narrative in a single lap. Alex's lap record at Jerez was more than a number on a timing screen; it was a symbol of his refusal to be defined by his mistakes. Fans on X were quick to celebrate his comeback, with one post calling it the most inspiring moment of the weekend. Others pointed out the irony. A crash that could have derailed his weekend instead became the catalyst for a historic lap. As we reflect on this moment, it's worth remembering the risks these riders take. Every time they hit the track, they're putting their bodies and careers on the line. The Turn 5 crash wasn't Alex's first, and it won't be his last. In 2023, at the Grand Prix of the Americas, he vomited in his helmet during a sprint race, then crashed out while battling for a podium. Later that year, at Le Mans, he was involved in a scary collision with Luca Marini, sliding across the track as other riders swerved to avoid him. Each incident is a reminder of the stakes, but also of Alex's ability to bounce back. His career is a testament to the idea that champions aren't defined by how often they fall, but by how often they get back up. The 2025 season has been a breakout year for Alex Marquez. As the Gresini team leader, he stepped out of his brother's shadow and into the spotlight. His lap at Jerez, his podiums at races like the Italian Grand Prix, and his consistent pace have silenced those who once dismissed him as just Marc's brother. But the crashes are part of the story too. They're the price of pushing the limits, of refusing to settle for anything less than greatness. Alex himself summed it up best: "The bike was too good, and I was not feeling the limit. I realized twice that the limit is there." It's a lesson every rider learns, but few embody it with the heart and determination of Alex Marquez. As the sun set on Jerez that April weekend, the Marquez brothers walked away from the track, bruised but unbroken. Alex's crash at Turn 5 and his record-breaking lap that followed became one of the defining moments of the 2025 Spanish Grand Prix. It was a reminder that in MotoGP, glory and heartbreak are two sides of the same coin. For Alex, it was another chapter in a career that's still being written, a story of a rider who's faced the fire and come out stronger every time. For fans, it was a moment to hold on to, a reason to keep watching, to keep cheering, to keep believing in the magic of this sport. If you've been moved by Alex Marquez's story, by the heart and courage it takes to climb back on a bike after a crash like that, I'd love for you to join our community. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's keep celebrating the incredible world of MotoGP together. Until next time, keep the throttle open and the passion alive.